Okay, so the Kansas City Chiefs, dude, I think they're better this
I know.
year than they were
I know.
last year.
I know. Me
How is
too.
that possible? Well, I can tell you how it's possible. Patrick Mahomes, well, I think maybe week one or maybe just before, I can't remember when the injury happened, but Tyreek Hill, who I think is, I wouldn't say he's the best receiver in the league. I know Chiefs fans would make that argument. I don't think, like, as a player, if you were like a GM, like in Madden, or a GM of the NFL and your redraft, I don't think Tyreek Hill would be the first receiver off the board. But in this offense, he's probably, in my opinion, the most productive receiver in the NFL. So Tyreek Hill
I
goes
know.
down early, right? And it turns into Sammy Watkins. I remember he got like 3 touchdowns that first game. Tyreek Hill is out for what, 4 weeks. By the time he comes back, Patrick Mahomes is dealing with that ankle issue, which everybody is forgetting about because Patrick Mahomes, a few games later, splits his patella in two,
Mm,
miraculously comes back.
mm.
They start the season 6-4. And I remember saying to you on one of these shows, is like, okay, it's time for Kansas City to put up or shut up now. They're 6-4. They got to stop losing games, and they didn't. They didn't lose a game for the rest of the year. Finished 12-4, won the Super Bowl. Well, this year, if Patrick Mahomes isn't banged up all year, like, how good is this team, dude?
Well, I mean that's a big if, but even if he is banged up, man, I actually don't see him getting injured. I think he's going to be so dialed in and just kind of cruise at one of the highest levels we've ever seen. And it's easy to take the Super Bowl winner and then project them to win it again because why wouldn't we?
Right.
Right? But and this may just be a victim of I don't know, the present, but that seems like the obvious choice, right? Like they're going to be better, are they not?
I mean,
I
they
mean, I
are
don't see Seattle coming out, being better than them or
yeah. I mean, exactly. And, Seattle might be able to do some things. There's like kind of rumors that they might bring Josh Gordon back. They might take a look at Antonio Brown after his suspension's up. And you add a piece like that to a team which we already like in Seattle, which we'll talk about the NFC West next week. You add a piece like that, and Seattle is already good, although oddly enough, they're still not getting a ton of respect. I don't know what the deal is with bettors and in Seattle. It's like
that's interesting, isn't it?
they want to run away from money there. I've never understood it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you talk about quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl. That mental ability to win a Super Bowl, I mean, the confidence that gives you, that means something, and which swings me back to the Chiefs. Like, look, I like the Ravens a lot this year. I do, and I like some other teams too. But we know the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is, I think, 0-2 in the playoffs, and I don't think that's I'm not like throwing shade at him for that, but there's confidence that comes with big wins. And Patrick Mahomes went toe to toe. That first year, was it 2 years ago? First year where he was really starting in the league, went toe to toe with Bill Belichick in the AFC Championship game. You remember they started flat and they came on fire in the second half, pushed it to overtime. You remember that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I saw that, I'm like, Patrick Mahomes, to respond to that pressure, he didn't fade away. He got stronger after that first half. That shows character that you need at the quarterback position. That shows leadership, right? And so I'm like, Patrick Mahomes will be just fine. It's not going to be the Peyton Manning storyline about he gets happy feet and gets nervous and stuff. He'll be just fine. And wouldn't you know, he broke through, and that's why I picked Kansas City to win the Super Bowl last year. But at least I thought I did. But I mean, it's just, why would you? To your point, Brad, why would you pick against this team? The big threats to me are Baltimore.
But Sean, let me ask you: is that something that we do every
Yeah.
year? Like, right? I mean, it is, right? Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But the NFL, it's not the NFL is not the NBA. Like the Warriors are really good, and they're going to be really good because you can't beat them 4 out of 7 times, right? So the NFL really doesn't work that way. I will say this though: I think they have a high chance to repeat, right?
Yeah. I feel better about the chances of Kansas City repeating more than anybody else. And we talk on the show sometimes about dynastic teams. And I think San Francisco has the organization, the coaching staff. I'm still a buyer on Jimmy Garoppolo. Like people are freaking out about a missed read and a deep post that was
Sure.
That's 2 throws in a Super Bowl.
I know, and it wasn't an easy throw.
It wasn't.
It wasn't an easy throw, man. That was 50 yards down the field, and it wasn't like the guy was exactly running scot-free.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So, but he missed him. Okay, so he missed him, right? It's a throw.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and so like they were talking about like getting out of the Jimmy Garoppolo contract, like not the 49ers, but the press and all that. It's like, dude, like first year, it keeps saying this. His first year as a starter, he took the team to the Super Bowl. His first full season as a starter took the team to the Super Bowl. Like, what are you complaining about? Like, would you be all upset, Brad, if Aaron Rodgers in his first year taking over for Brett Favre?
No.
Would you be upset if you outplayed the best player in the NFL for 3.5 quarters and you missed a deep post? You'd be upset in the moment, but you're like, oh, we got to get, whoever.
Yeah, you don't have to turn everything upside down and try to trade the guy or whatnot. These are just in order to excel, there has to be some type of overcoming of obstacles, or we see it all the time. We see it in life, and it's definitely mirrored in sports all the time.
And we saw it too, and we were talking again the Super Bowl last year. I said, look, the Super Bowl is going to come down to in the fourth quarter is Nick. I said this before the game. Is Nick Bosa going to be able to chase Patrick Mahomes down and get him on the ground, or is Mahomes going to be able to stay up and make a big throw? And we saw exactly that pan out. Bosa tapped his ankle, dove and hit his ankle. Probably 30 other quarterbacks in the league, 28 to 30 go down if that ankle tap. Mahomes is just Mahomes, man. That's just how it is. So it's hard for me to bet against Mahomes. Look, there's a lot that has to happen in the NFL, but if Kansas City comes into the playoffs with Mahomes healthy and maybe Tyreek Hill healthy. If those two players are healthy, I don't see who beats them. And they have a lot of pieces at wide receiver.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is, how for 5 or 6 seasons, Aaron Rodgers, he just played at a level that we rarely see. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing it in Russell Wilson, where it's the game is slower than they are. They're like Neo, right? They finally come into their own, and that's what Patrick Mahomes, as good as he's been, that's what we have to look forward to from him. Because how many years has he been playing? 3?
Yeah, I think his last year was his 3rd year in the league.
So he's entering exactly. So we have that to look forward to from that guy.
With
where he doesn't have to dodge bullets, he just stops them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. It's the Matrix. You're right.
Coming, dude. It's coming.
You're exactly right, man. And we saw it in the Super Bowl, and that's that's why I keep coming back to this, and I keep seeing this in different episodes, is what he did against what I think is the best defensive line in San Francisco, the best defensive line I'd seen in years. And that 49ers team, I'm sorry, they beat 31 other teams. Even if they matched up against the Ravens that day, they would have who would beat them in the regular season. 31 other teams, and I love San Francisco going in there. That's why I was wrestling with that pick, for 2 weeks trying to figure out who I was going to take. And it just came to Mahomes is just on another level. And you're right, man. It's the Matrix, man. He's stopping him. If he's healthy, the bullets. And let's not forget about Andy Reid. On top of Mahomes being Mahomes,
there's Andy Reid.
He's got. I mean, this is I would say this is even more potent than Belichick and Brady together, because Andy Reid.
That's a big statement.
That is a big statement, but Belichick was a defensive master. And so, he worked together, and he and Brady had a good partnership.
I see what you're saying.
But Andy Reid is an offensive guy.
Yeah, right. That's
an offensive tactician who can always dial up plays. Even if Mahomes wasn't Mahomes, he could dial up plays and get people. And that's why they were okay with, was it Matt Moore backing him up last year?
Yeah, right.
Dude, this team is good.
Just one more thing on Mahomes. I don't consider myself to be old, but when I look at Mahomes, I'm like, damn, that's a kid. You know what I mean? That's just a kid. And how old is he? 20-something? Just look at him. And then he goes out there and does these things. It blows my mind apart.
Think about this. So you and I are both 38, 39, right? So Mahomes, with nutrition and health and all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
Assuming nothing weird happens.
Yeah, right.
He will be still in his prime, because of how long these primes can extend, when we're 50.
Yeah,
we're gonna have our whole 40s watching Mahomes dominate. It's wild, man. It's wild. And I wouldn't say Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson has that running kind of style. I wouldn't say Lamar Jackson's there. Russell Wilson, who we both love, I would say Mahomes and Wilson are similar in that they can use their legs to extend plays and make those crippling scrambles for yardage and everything.
Yeah, those back-breaking runs.
But Wilson's been around for a while. He'll retire. Before Wilson.
It's funny because Mahomes. When he went to those Super Bowls, when they had that defense and they went, what did they go to, 2 out of 3 Super Bowls, or maybe more than that?
It was 2 out of 3.
That was like 2012, 13, 14, something like
Something
that,
like
right? Like
that, yeah.
that was a while ago now. It's
Hmm.
interesting to think about. Boy, that goes quick.
Yeah.
That was at least 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Mahomes is going to shatter all of. I know. Well, if he plays as long, because Brady had a lot of good years and longevity. I think Mahomes will definitely retire with the most touchdown passes. Just by it depends on how long I think Andy Reid coaches, but fantastic team. What can I say about this? Let me hit you with the over under for the team. 11 and a half wins for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, there may be the type of deal where they realize that they don't exactly have to be the first seed in order to be successful, and that can create, maybe we don't play the guy, we rest the guy instead, right?
Mm.
That being said, I think 12 wins is a fairly good estimate for them.
Mahomes was not himself for at least half the year, and they went
Right,
12 and 4
right,
and won the Super
right,
Bowl.
right.
Look, as a bettor, I find it hard to throw my money down on a 12. That's a big number, man.
It
But
is, it
so
is.
I'm not going to put my money on this, okay? But I think they're a 13 and 3, 14 and 2
Hmm.
team if Mahomes is healthy throughout the year. Even if they're resting guys, they're just that good. And we didn't even talk about the defense. The defense got better. They had a first-year defensive coordinator. They were installing a new system. So this defense was peaking in the playoffs, and they were a good defense at the end of the year, which we are not even talking about yet.
Right, right. Sean, who's the last team to go 15-1?
Oh gosh, 15 and 1. That's
Was
a
it the
good question.
Packers in 2011?
Well, they did. Trying to think if there was one. I think the Broncos went 15 and 1 when they lost to the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So I guess they were
Were they
whatever in 2.
15-1 that year?
I believe they were. Oh, Carolina.
Were
Carolina the year that they
were the
lost to Denver.
Panthers? The Panthers.
The Panthers were 15 and
Yes,
1,
they
and
were
I
15-1.
I don't think we saw another one since then. But it's rare, man. 15-1. That doesn't happen
But the
often.
Panthers were 15-1.
They were 15 and 1, and that was the year that
It
Cam
almost
Newton.
seems like that's a curse.
I know it is. The Redskins went, or the Washington football team went 15 and 1 the year they lost to the Super Bowl and the Raiders in 1983.
And the
It is a
Packers
curse.
went 15-1 and they lost in the playoffs.
The Vikings went 15 and 1 with
Yes,
Randy Moss,
with
and they
Randy
lost to the
Moss
Atlanta
and them, yeah.
the Atlanta
Yeah,
Falcons.
that's
It is
right.
a curse. The Denver Broncos, I believe, went 15 and 1 in a year. They lost in the playoffs to the
Has anyone gone
Jaguars.
15-1 and won the Super Bowl?
I
Now,
don't.
that's an interesting one.
That is an interesting question. I don't know. Not in recent history.
Well, let's
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
have to look
Google
that
has
up.
to say. We'll see if I get a definitive answer right off the bat.
And that just goes to show you, man, it's important to peak at the right time. And that's another thing about the Chiefs
Right.
last year, man. They peaked at the right time. Yeah, I mean, I know there have been teams that have gone like 15 and 1 like between seasons, but
The curse in the 15-1
oh, you're looking at it right now.
NFL team. All right, let's see.
So if you're
There
Chiefs,
have been 6 teams only
uh-huh.
that have gone 15-1.
Can I name them? Can I try to name them real quick just as a fun? So we
Yes.
named the Vikings, we named the Packers, we named the Redskins of the 80 or the Washington football team of 83.
Well, hold on. They're not listing the Redskins on this one.
Is that right?
Why is that? Why is
Maybe
that?
maybe I was wrong. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, so I'll take that back. But we did say the Vikings, the Panthers, and the Packers. I'm not gonna get to any
Okay,
of
the
those.
first 2 to do it did win the Super Bowl.
Okay, who were they?
Okay, do you want to guess it all? You want me to
Nah,
tell you?
no, go ahead.
The 84 49ers and the 85 Bears.
The Bears. Forgot about that one. Yeah, their only loss was to Marino.
Wow, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
and so the next ones were the Vikings, as you said. So the first 2 won it, and the last 4 have not, right?
Okay.
So the Vikings did not.
Mhm.
The 04 Steelers,
Okay.
Big Ben,
Yeah.
they were 13-0.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I don't remember that at all.
he was a rookie.
Oh.
Heinz Ward, James Ferrier, Cho Polamalu, James Porter, Aaron Smith.
Well, I remember
Remember those
that, but I'm
guys?
surprised his rookie season. I mean, I remember Roethlisberger did really well his rookie year. I didn't remember that was a 15 and 1 season though. That's crazy.
Tommy Maddox was injured in week 2, and then so insert Big Ben.
Yeah, kind of like the Brady scenario, right?
Yeah, all right. So the 11 Green Bay Packers, right? They scored 560 points.
I remember that, man. They're good.
They were really good. And then Eli Manning took them out. And then the 15 Carolina Panthers.
There you go.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So if you're a Chiefs fan, root for them to lose 2 games.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Last 4 to do it.
All right.